welcome to the Bond for the Trades, a home service podcast. I'm your host, Bandipala, and sitting next to my co-host, Shreya. Today,
Hello.
hello world, hello listeners. Today we have amazing guest on our show. He went from bankruptcy with no credit, no money to 44 million and now on the pace of 73 million. One and only Aaron Gaynor from Eco Plumbers.
Join us as we dive deep into the world of home service entrepreneurship, interacting with industry leaders, coaches, and entrepreneurs about their experiences, challenges, and victories. Through their inspiring stories, we hope to equip our listeners with the tools and knowledge they need to succeed in the competitive home service industry. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, tune in to Born for the Trades podcast for invaluable insight and real-world inspiration.
Hey, Aaron, welcome to our show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Excited. New podcast, some new energy. It's exciting. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you. Thanks so much for coming. I wanted to start with something because it's one thing, to hear people in the industry that have been on, a lot of podcasts because a lot of people want to hear what they have to say because of their accomplishments. But it's another thing to have personal experience, which I've been lucky enough to have a lot of personal experience with every single guest that we've had so far on the podcast, being helpful when nobody's looking is really important in somebody's character. And I could say almost out of everybody I've ever met, that is what describes Aaron, is being helpful when nobody's looking. It's not for social media. He doesn't even have social media. It's not to be loud on there. It's just, it's genuine. It's from the heart. And, some of the books and things he's recommended to do in my career has changed my life forever. So I just wanted to start by saying thank you so much for that and let everyone know that this is the kind of guy he is.
Appreciate those kind words. That's great. And neutral. You've been awesome. And one thing is people that actually take the stuff and do things, and you've been one of them doing. That's why you've been growing and leading in this industry. You're popping up everywhere these days, which is very. I told you the other day. I'm very happy.
Can't get rid of me.
She's
No, but thank you for those kind words. I really do appreciate it. And I think that's what we all kind of hope to strive to do. So I'm glad to hear that getting good things said behind my back.
It's true. You are one of those people. You actually have good stuff said behind your back.
I was like, she was like bringing a lot of stuff, and I was like, okay, and like she admires you a lot, and here we go. Like we're gonna hear more about.
Well, she read my favorite book, so that's what we recommended my favorite.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
We're gonna talk.
We're gonna talk about it.
Let's jump in then. What we got today?
Well, first I want to talk about before the book. I want to talk about the most pivotal point of your life or your career or both. If you could describe that to us. We talked about how there's bankruptcy and now you're at 44 million. Can you talk about that moment of your life a little bit more specifically for people that don't know?
Yeah, well, if you don't mind, maybe jump back just a little bit and bring it towards that to kind of say how I got there, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So, I started in the trades in 1997. Yes, 1997. All right. I know that's getting up there these days. Right out of high school, I was working second shift at night, loading semi trucks at Value City Furniture. Had no idea what a plumber was, really. Didn't think about it. I had a buddy, his brother-in-law worked for Ferguson Enterprises, and they say, hey, I got a guy that owns a small construction plumbing shop. Would you like to get a job? Learn how to be a plumber. It's a first shift job. I was like, sure, I'll take this job. I don't know what it is, but it's first shift. And I was making about $14 loading semi trucks. This job paid like $7.50. And I took it and I never left. I ended up really enjoying it. I picked up on the trade, on the work quick. I learned code quick. And so as we were growing in the early 2000s, we all know the housing boom was really big, right? So construction is what I knew, new construction and light commercial. So my buddy and I decided to start our own plumbing company because that's what most technicians all decide to do because we figured we could do it better than our boss, right?
Right.
So we decided to start up our own plumbing business. To be known as we grew it to $3.5 million in the early 2000s, construction, new home builds mostly, but some light commercial. We grew it to 3.5 million, and then the recession started hitting. in 2006. So we started feeling it. We were losing contracts. We were struggling. Like we had some Syntex homes with one of our biggest builders that doesn't pull out Dominion Homes. These other big builders, they just kind of started shutting down on us. And so we fought, and then finally we got forced into a bankruptcy. And so at that time, was like felt like the worst thing that ever could happen to me. I lost jobs for people that worked for me, that depended on me. I lost my house. I lost my car. I lost
And
everything.
This was like 2008. We are talking around 2008.
2007. Happened in
2000.
6 into 7. So we were feeling it more before everybody else like really felt the after effects of it, right? As it really came in. So that happened in 2007. We went bankrupt, ended up back at my mom's house, about 28 years old at this point, as a single dad with my 3-year-old son, sleeping on my mom's couch at home, at her house. And the pivotal moment was one night he's staying the weekend with me and we're sleeping on the couch, and I just was sitting there and I just held him up, and I just looked him in the eyes on the couch and I said, I promise you this won't be your life. I'm gonna figure it out. And I got to work. And everybody needs some inspiration, right? Something to do it. And that was the moment. That was my the couch moment, right? Of saying, hey, I gotta go. Like I gotta pick myself up. We gotta figure this out. And I got to work. And here we are today. So
that is awesome.
That's how I got to that pivotal moment and how it made me get to work.
It's
and then many other people have been along that journey to help me. My sister, my service manager, a lot of other great people have been part of this organization. So have contributed big time.
That is awesome. Thanks for sharing. It's inspiring. I think we need to deep dive a little bit here. Like what literature, what people help you like turn around your life? Like, what was that? Like, any literature or people?
So, I mean, a couple of things. One is, I'll say one was my sister. She stepped up, and her ex-husband stepped up and really when I went to him, I said, hey, I think I can grow a service business, and I don't think I'm done. Like I can do this. I know I made a mistake here, but I'm going to own it. And when I owned the mistake and said it was really the fact that I didn't understand business. I was a good plumber, and I felt like we could do a lot of plumbing, and we were in a time of booming. The houses felt like they were never going to end. And I never really owned a business. I owned a tax ID, and I was only as good as the builders that I was able to get work from. And at that point, I realized that, and I was like, I got to go back to the drawing board. I need to learn business. I need to educate myself. I need to be more of a student of business and life, right? And that's what I decided to do. And I really think about the book E-Myth by Michael Gerber was a big changer for me, right? And I was like, that book is totally me. I was like, I'm a technician to a manager to an entrepreneur. But I stayed much of a technician even when we grew that business, and not so much into a manager and entrepreneur. And I needed to understand that more. So some of it was myself looking inward and saying, I'm gonna figure this out. My sister gave me $50. We opened up the bank account that started as business with $50. Right, that's where we got started. My service manager and friend of mine that I've known since we were 16 jumped in, Ron, with us, and started getting to work. And we started doing everything we could to get to work, just anything we could. I called up some of the old builders I'd worked for and told them, hey, if you let me get some work, I'll warranty the old work on my own time. And they started just saying, okay. And but I knew that the path was to this, where I am today. I envisioned it. I knew I was going to get the service and grow a brand and a business that I could own, and our team could own, and the only people that could screw it up is us, right? And that's what we've been working to. And then met a great person on our team, Mike Barnhart, who has now become a partner in the business, our CFO. About 10 years ago, I met him at a party that we both were at, and we were just talking a little bit like about business and life, and he asked me what I did, and I was like, I'm a plumber, and he's like, oh really? He's like he was at this time at Fisher Business, getting his MBA in finance.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he was like, well, I could do some modeling for you and stuff. I said, what's your plans? And I was like, well, I'm gonna grow it to 100 million. And he goes, well, where are you at now? And I was like, 1 million. he goes, okay, we got a long way to go, don't we? He's like, well, we can create a plan for you. And he actually did. We got together and we mapped out $100 million plan when we had $1 million to how we would get there.
So you guys are together for so many years. Right.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
been so I met him about 10 years ago, and then he came onto the team about almost 2 years later. I eventually was like, he started getting excited. He left Victoria's Secret to come work with me as a plumber. So I've always kind of like, okay,
Wow.
Wow.
yeah, that's a big
From
move, man.
Victoria's Secret to
That's
plumbing.
Maybe we should be interviewing him.
yeah,
Find out
we
what's
can.
going on.
We can maybe next time. Yeah,
But
but
no,
that's
he
a
did. He
good move.
laughed. He took a chance on me as much as I took a chance on him, and we got to work. And between his support from a financial background, me really learning and educating myself and doing the trade and sales, a couple of great people like my sister and service manager, some other people that have come along the way, we were able to just keep finding ways and figuring out how to build a business, with not a lot of capital, not a lot of resources, and definitely coming out of an economic time that wasn't great. So,
Yeah.
Right.
and I mean, I feel like if I could do it, probably anybody can do it. You just got to have the will to do it, right?
Right.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, what would you say to the people that, first of all, they have so much technology now, and so much support and so much information on social media with people mentoring for free that are super successful. And I'm assuming that it was a little bit different back then. You had to seek out that information. So what would you say to the guys today, that might have excuses for something like that?
Well, I would definitely say today here's a resource, right? I really wasn't podcasts going on too much around that time, right?
Right.
They didn't have the trend in home service they did today. I mean, books have always been available. I mean, I started listening to audiobooks a little bit. I wasn't part of any membership information. I wasn't like had social media stuff where people were telling you things about home service back then, really. I ended up joining Nexstar when we got to about 3.5 million. So that were about 3.8 million, I think, roughly. I found a Service Titan when we were around, I think we've been on Service Titan since like, I don't know, maybe 8, 9 years too. So I found them when we were around 1.9 million. So we kind of brought them on. So I had done some research, but I would say like there's so much information available now. It's good and bad, right? It's good because you can find anything you want to do, and it's
Right.
bad because there's a
Right.
lot of stuff that you're just trying to understand. Which one should I do? Should I listen to this? Should I listen to that?
It's a lot.
I got this, I got that. Should
Right.
we focus on this? Should we focus on that? Like, and you just have to sit down and really collect that information and decide what direction to go. And I just think there's not really a lot of excuses for not knowing. It's about, can you gather a strategy and can you execute it? And I like to think of things in 3 ways. I'll just share it. And I want to finish your question, Shreya, properly. But first thing is you go get the knowledge, then you put a strategy together, and then you execute it, right? A lot of people can get a lot of knowledge. You can listen to all the podcasts, read all the things. Then some people can kind of scope together a little bit of a strategy. Like they start planning a little bit of a strategy, and they start thinking about it. Everybody, for the most part, everybody besides the people that get ahead and do it, execute on whatever that is day in and day out. And I would say the hardest part is, can you get up every single day, even when you feel like you're getting your butt whooped, and still show up and make things happen and keep working towards your long-term plan? And I don't think there's any excuse for anybody not to become successful if you're willing to put in the effort and time in this trade and in this industry today. Like there's a lot of opportunity in this trade right now, more than there's ever been in my life. I've been in this trade since 1997, 6, 7 years now. This is the greatest time to be in this industry. There's no better time.
The gold rush.
Yes, it is. The gold rush. So either capitalize on it now or you're going to be left behind.
Right.
Totally.
So when you started your business, right? So now you were saying like there are like so many opportunities. So what major change or resources available right now? Like what do you think that people can benefit the most right now, like versus 2007?
Well, I mean, obviously there's all this information there's tons of podcasts, there's tons of information available. There's more network groups probably available. There's more resources through Nexstar and other sharing platforms that you can become members with. Some of my own friends run podcasts and share on social media and do stuff that have been very successful. And like you just need to reach out, and like I get people reach out. Hey, sometimes you just need to reach out to people that you want to be, and ask them for help. I mean, for example, for me, somebody I've always looked up to is Dave Geiger at Horizon, right? And I saw his video at one of the Nexstar when I first came on. I think he was talking about, I'm going to grow my business 250 million. I was like, 250 million. It was like, I wasn't even thinking about it. I thought I had 100 million was my goal, and I hit 250. I was
250.
like, man, I didn't even know this is it. And, and then I just reached out and started becoming it. Now I just literally texted with Dave yesterday, right?
Mm,
And over the years, and he's let me come out, and he did. It's like most of the people that I know that have been successful and had are very friendly, want to help, as long as you're not taking advantage of their time and energy, and you're also doing something with the things that they're telling you about, right? At
yeah.
some point, it
Right.
does get
Right.
to a point where it's like you can't just keep calling the same people with the same questions and not doing it, right?
Yeah.
And respect their time and energy. But like Dave would be somebody that I reached out to and met through some people and his son-in-law, and has been somebody I've always admired and looked up to, and I inspired to follow in his footsteps. And I love you, Dave, but hopefully get bigger than you.
Right.
That healthy competition, getting connected with real people, right?
Right.
There's getting connected with real people that could help you, but not wasting their time, because at the end of the day, these are successful, busy people. So they're happy to help you when you're going to apply it. That totally makes sense. I wanted to ask, because you're talking about commercial to residential to service. What were the biggest challenges about switching from commercial to service?
Well, I mean, obviously I'm coming from broke, so it wasn't too much of a challenge, besides the idea of like
Mhm.
is that I knew it and it was comfortable, right? And it seems dependable because like I got a contract, I can do this work, right? I
Right.
think the hardest part maybe was really understanding. Well, first off, for me, it was like I need like raising and marketing and creating dollars for marketing, right? Because I just didn't have any money really, right? The Angie's List was really big then. So my thing was I got on Angie's List.
Mhm.
And it was like, I think Angie's List, they used to say, you can be on Angie's List for free. And I called, I was like, can I get on Angie's List? Like, yeah, it's 15,000. I said, I thought it was free. They're like, for free, if you just want to be on there, nobody can see
They-
you. And
Right.
they're like, but I'll tell you what, we'll,
Mhm.
we'll
Bait and
put you on a
switch.
finance package plan for 15 grand. I'm like, I don't have $15,000. I don't even know how I'm going to pay 15. I was like, sure, I'll take it. And just got my name on there. And we just started getting more reviews than anybody else. And we worked hard and did good stuff and started building. So I think the hardest part was saying, I need to think about a brand name, because we originally were not Eco Plumbers when we restarted. It was
Okay.
called Phoenix Plumbing, right? Phoenix Plumbing for all the reasons of Phoenix, right? Trying to
Okay.
Yeah.
rebirth yourself. And then as I was going along, I started thinking, well, I
Mm,
need a brand name. I need something innovative. I need something new. And I did research online. I found an organization in Australia called Green Plumbers. They were going through droughts. They were going through all this water stuff. I was like, this is interesting. I want to know more about this. So I sent them an email. They got back to me. They said they were going to be doing training in the United States. So I went through water, energy, conservation, all these trainings through these
Mhm.
programs with them, got certified with that stuff. And I was like, you know what? I need a name that meets this more. Couldn't do Green Plumber because I already trademarked it. Lucky for me, Eco Plumber was available. So I was
right.
like, perfect, this is it. And that was kind of catalyst for the idea of kind of coming up with a way that I could be unique in the marketplace at that time. Thinking about that. And today, all the stuff we do is pretty standard, right? Now we were like, when we first got iPads, paperless, all these other things. So to get
Right.
to your point, it's like the transition to what it is, I think, was from a marketing standpoint, understand marketing, understand lead sources, understand a brand, and build something that people will recognize and want. And then you need to really understand, how do I deliver on that service, right? Like, what does service
Mhm.
really look like? What service excellence really look like? And do you know what that is from construction to service? So,
Right.
but I would say anybody that's in construction, the greatest thing I ever did, and most of the people that I know that were in construction moved over, was to start finding a way to grow your service business,
Service
whether
Totally.
business.
it's plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, all
That's
three
good.
of them, which we do today. We do all three too.
You do
Yeah.
all three. That is amazing. So Eric, like I need to understand like more here. What exactly did you do, differently from your first business with Eco Plumbers? What was that?
Sounds like everything.
Ev- Like I know like you did a lot,
Literally
you did a
everything.
lot, but like anything that you want to share that was like totally different, that was a game changer.
Well, I don't know about know what the game changer would be, as much as, just as I said before, it's just kind of getting up and just attacking everything. I think what you don't really realize, one of the things that hit me at some point was like, I'm not just in plumbing or HVAC and electrical business, right? We all sometimes we get when we're in the trade trench as that technician, like I'm plumber, right? We're in the plumbing business. Like, well, yeah, kind of, but you're not really, right? Because you're also in the customer service business, you're also in the dispatch business, you're also in the call center business, you're also in the inventory business, you're also in the marketing business, you're also in the finance, like there's all these things going
Yeah.
on. So once I
Right.
started realizing that that everything we're doing, there's multiple businesses inside this business to be successful, and then really identifying what I needed to learn in each one of those businesses to be able to operate the business really helped
Yeah.
me. And a lot of people spend a lot of time really being really good at doing plumbing, which is great because you should do a good job doing plumbing. But they don't spend a lot of time like understanding, like, I have to run a call center. Like, how do I run a effective and efficient call center? I
Right.
have to run a marketing team. Like, you can only outsource some of the stuff. Like, I have to be a really good marketer. I really have to understand marketing. I learned a lot of stuff about
Every
reading
part
books.
of the business
You just
instead
gotta
of,
learn it.
functioning like a technician, pretending to be an owner type of thing. It's
Yeah,
going back to, okay, I'm really transforming into an entrepreneur and an owner now, which means I need to know and learn every part of the business and have the grit to get up and do that consistently every day.
every day, plan an hour to read something that you're doing. I did that
Consistency.
for years.
Consistency is everything. Show up.
Yeah. And it's not a new secret. I don't think this is
Yeah.
new information, right? To anybody. It's just, it's just, will you do it? Okay. Do
Do
you
it.
really have the will to do that every day? Are you willing to give up, the time to, go hang out and have a beer? Are you willing to give up the time to go golf? Are you willing to give up the time to do these other things to learn these other resources that are important, if it's that important to you to grow and do stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
How bad do
but
you want it, really?
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
so I think the idea was, like, for me, like, I was restarting, so I had an opportunity. I needed to go back to what I knew to restart. But my CFO Mike and I talked about this many times, and he says, one thing that he felt like he has learned from me. That's what he says. I think he's learned more than one. Is that life truly is about reinventing yourself at every level, right? And
Yeah.
are you willing to reinvent yourself? And over the time now, as we've grown, and even to today and to now, like, I need to reinvent myself, because the company's only going to be as good as I'm willing to reinvent, keep putting myself in, because most
Right.
companies hit a wall, not because of the employees, as we all want to say, or team members, whatever language you hit a wall because of us.
Right.
Right. And to take the responsibility of something like that, to know so many people are relying on you, does that energize you to keep going every day? Is that a big part of it?
Oh yeah, I've had that many times. I've had, we just had our holiday party, and I think we had like 300 something people or something there, 3 people or something, like, now, right? And it's like, you look around, it's like all these people, like, and their families, and count on you, right? They
Right.
count on you. You need to show up. Like, you
Show
need to
up.
show up and show them that you're here for them and the families. And people work hard when they see that you're working hard for them, right?
Right.
Uh,
Right. Right. So
I'm a believer in the fact that you got to be here. You got to be here. You got to be there every day. This is, if you want to run a successful business and grow it and do stuff. And when you're done being here, then find a new plan to get out and be done being.
yeah.
But you got to be here if you really want to grow into these levels that, that people are moving to. I
Right.
mean, we're going into this year, hopefully over 70 million. We're in the middle of an acquisition of a business, but we just done.
Love
So,
that.
we'll probably be around 73 million. Fortunate this year, if we're able to do all the things we want to do.
Your
And I mean,
number.
that's big growth from 44 to there.
Your
And 8
numbers
million
are
of
mapped
it.
out. Yeah. Your numbers are mapped out. You're
They
like,
always
okay,
have been, it sounds like.
like 73. I was like, okay, we're gonna maybe talk more, but like your numbers are pretty much like dialed in. You're gonna hit 73. So I'm like really impressed with
Yeah,
that.
we've done really good. I mean, we've done a good job at saying these are our goals and getting to them every year. We work hard at budgeting. So hopefully that has answered the question that you were trying to get to, Shreya.
Yeah, and I kind of want to talk about your rebranding, because you're talking about, how you created the brand of Eco Plumbers. You guys just rebranded in a really big way. And something interesting that you did is you had your son's mother do the radio commercial for the brand. And I just thought, like, wow, that it reminded me of like the scorched earth Ken Goodrich like way of marketing and branding. That was like so impressive. So do you want to talk about what was your goal with doing that?
Okay. Well, a couple of things is, one was like the rebrand and trying to find a way to build this new brand story that we don't feel like we had like a really good Genesis brand story that was shared to the public, right? As much, like, they knew who we were, They knew some of the stuff I've said on like radio or TV ads that we've done. They knew us from like, hey, we're plumbers, call us, da 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 da, right? Our specials, etc. And as we're thinking about what is the next level of our organization, like what do we need to do? It's like, well, we really want to grow to 250 million of us. We really felt like we need a good brand story, and we felt like it was time to refreshen our brand. And most people would not probably do a rebrand on a business that's been scaling the growth we have, spending the time and money that we've already spent on the brand message. Not that we significantly changed our name, but we had to, wrap a lot of trucks, spend some money revamping that. So a couple of things went into that. One is that the first part of it was thinking, I would like to be able to think about what this would be to be a brand, a bigger brand than just a local brand, right? And what would that look like, and how would we build a brand story that had value, that kept carrying on? So we needed to think about what that looks like. So we got with a marketing firm, got with them, we got with Dan Antonelli too, right? With Kick Charge. We got with Wizard Ads too, I'll tell you who it is, too.
Oh yeah.
And we just started working together with them, coming up with ideas, planning. From there, they asked the team, really, well, tell us stories about Aaron. Tell us things about his life. Tell us things that you've known from him, right? People have been with me a long time. People like, heard from my Ron's been a friend and a service manager of my sister. Mike's been a long time. Barbara dispatched 6 years. Travis, our directors, like a lot of people have been with us and been part of the journey. So I just asked them a bunch of questions about my life story, other things that they just knew about me. And as they built that up, they kind of built this story. To get to your point, Shreya, how do we get to my, ex down there getting on the radio for me? So they just kind of told the stories, and they told a story about in high school, the principal told me I should drop out of high school, and but I shouldn't be here, right? My mom was there. I'm 16, 17 years old, sitting in this room, and my mom's trying to get a job, a single mom with 3 kids in the same school district that they're trying to kick me out of, right? Like,
Yeah.
all right, little moment of waking up there, right? There's my mom trying to work 3 jobs and trying to get a job here, and I'm causing all this trouble. And then we went along to the bankruptcy area. Right now, I'm back at my mom's house sleeping. And I called my son's mom up at that time. I said, hey, look, frankly, you know what happened. I don't have a job. I don't have anything. I'm not collecting unemployment because I'm going to try to figure this out. And I owe you child support. I said, so look, I'm going to make you get, and they won't, I call it child support. They won't reduce it. They said, I need 3 years. I go, but I don't have a job. And it's like, we need 3 years of history. I said, well, I'm not going to have 3 years of non-job history. So we'll have to figure this out. So I called her up. I said, look, I'm going to make you a deal. I said, I hope you can believe it. I've known her. I knew her since we were in 7th grade. We never dated younger. We dated later on, but I knew her. So she knew me for a long time. And I said, I'm going to make you a deal. I said, will you make a deal with me if I make a deal? I said, yeah, I'll figure this child support out right now, and I'll never go back if I don't figure it out. Just keep it going. I said, but if you believe and trust in me, I will figure out how I'm going to pay for all of Chase's college when he graduates. I'll pay for his car, and I'll take care of everything he needs throughout college, and just give me a chance to figure it out. And we agreed on it. She agreed on it. She never came after me again, even as I grew the business, and I followed through on all my commitments to her. And might have been cheaper to pay child support, but joke. And in today, so she came on the radio to vouch for that story that was told, which was the real story of life. And so she came on and just did that. So that's how that got to that story. Hopefully that didn't take too long to get there, but I needed to explain.
No, I wanted you to
that.
Explain the whole story, because it's unbelievable. It's like the American dream. That's what it was. It's like the real person that experienced it on the radio, telling the true story. And it was, the emotional nature behind Eco Plumbers, to connect with people of this is somebody's American dream. This is not just a random plumbing company.
Right.
That's what I got from it.
Yeah, everyone has got like their story. I think you gotta share it. Like, what's your story behind your brand? And I'm glad that you brought that, like Dan's name. Love Dan's work. And I want to ask you one thing here, that how much branding played a big role in overall your success growth? You want to share?
So I think it probably does play decent. I mean, it plays pretty big. You got to have a good brand. You got to have something people can remember, recognize. there's nothing wrong. People use names for their business all the time, as long as you have something that you can capture and recognize. Like for me, when we went in to do this, it's like I wanted a name that would be different than it. And to be frank, when we first went into this, I know they had like a character drawn of the old brand of me. Like
That's
I
right.
actually never wanted to be the brand face. Like that was never my objective. I always said I want the company to be the company. I want it to be about the people. And that was always the plan, was like keeping it that way. And as it grew, it just like organically and just it just kind of happened as it went along. I mean, I embrace it, but it wasn't like I want to be on the side of the billboards. I want to be here, like
Yeah.
I don't do that. I never have. We have like a character that was created kind of me, but I've never been on a like billboard or anything like. And I don't say anything wrong with that. That was just not where I was going for it. But as we went along, and I can understand it, you start thinking about what people want to recognize a brand in a person, because a
Right.
person means a lot, right? And if
Mhm.
they want to know somebody that they trust as an expert and hear a story, and I think it's important. You have to embrace both. And I probably was, we still grew, but I probably could have done better at that early. And I think if you want to, you should embrace that and be okay and getting out in front and saying, this is my brand, this is who I am. And it shouldn't not an ego thing. And I think for me, it was like, I don't want it to look like I have some ego. I'm trying to be this local kind of celebrity home service person or something, right? And I'm not
Right.
saying anything wrong with that. It just wasn't, it just wasn't fitting who I was, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean, I'm dynamic. I understand it. I'm happy to get in front of people, talk in front of anybody, and do
Right.
that. But it wasn't what I do. I just like to work hard. You know what I mean? Like to work hard.
Work hard. Work hard.
Yeah,
No.
it seems like it was other people's opinion that that story needed to be told more and be more a part of the branding. It's like, how could
Oh
you
yeah,
hide something like this? Such an amazing story. Literally, once again, the American dream. Let's just put that at the forefront. That makes total
Right.
sense to me.
and many people have similar stories, and I think it's embracing those stories. I mean, one of the stories that I ended up having that I told, which I fought for years and years and hid from so many people over my lifetime earlier, was that I was dyslexic. Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, my best friend growing up, when I told him I was just, he said, "What?" He's like, "I never would have known." Sure, he met John before.
Oh yeah,
So
Joe.
I told him, right? But I would like, try to, it's the end of the world, but eventually it was just kind of like my dreams are bigger, my goals are bigger. I'm
Right.
dyslexic. I got to deal with it.
Right.
I got to get in front of this.
Right.
I'm not gonna let it slow me down in other areas. I know
Right.
I can overcome stuff. And I did. Like once you're dyslexic, you never are undyslexic, right?
Right.
Like you figure out
Yeah.
ways to do things
Right.
around it.
Right.
And
Right.
now it's in a radio ad. So in the world, when I used to try to keep it from everybody and not say anything, and
Yeah.
Right.
now it's on the radio, right?
That
So
now
I
it's
guess I'd say that to be vulnerable was a big growing opportunity for me I think as a person, as a man, you know what I
right.
mean, in general. I think it was a big
And
opportunity for your brand and for yourself to be able to be out there and be okay with telling, the goods and bads of your life, and just embrace them and move forward. And some people are gonna judge it and some people are not. And I think we all have a little bit of like, what are people gonna say in
right.
areas?
Right.
So I think that's from a branding. If you're asking for a branding, personal branding for your business, is very important. I think it's important that you're part of it.
Right, right.
Right.
I think most of the people they think like, okay, what others gonna think, right? People gonna judge, right? I think that's why, like, the real story that doesn't come out, like, out of 10, I would say maybe a couple of them willing to share that. And since you just mentioned about goals, like what just like share more about your goals. Like what are your goals for Eco Plumbers and when will you think that you're gonna accomplish by?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm hoping by 2024 we'll do 100 million, which we should, right? That was always
Awesome.
been my benchmark number.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I set that goal a long time ago. I wrote it down in a journal book that I have in 2016. The modeling that Mike and I did was a little longer out because we didn't know as much as we did, right? Back then as we did today.
Mm-hmm.
We projected it to be more like almost closer to 2030 kind of a little bit. I wrote down in
Wow.
2016 because we didn't know. We wrote this a long time ago. We weren't in Nextcar. We didn't know anything about the market. We're like, but here's where we are today. We did average sale. Average sale wasn't so great back then, right? Conversion was still working, right? So
Right.
these are all newer things. And we just didn't know what we didn't know, and now we started growing. But in 2016, I wrote down in a book, and I wrote by 2025 we'll do $100 million, right? And there's a lot more to it. And I just said, that's my goal. And every morning since that day, I wrote it down in 2016. I've mentioned it to myself every single morning when I do my, guess you'd call it, we would call it auto suggestion, right? Your auto suggestion to yourself. Every day I have auto suggestion, right? I have more than that, but so that was my goal. That's still my goal to accomplish. I haven't finished that goal yet, right? But my new goal that is built over a couple of years that people are starting here is $1 billion, right? Because as you grow and you do stuff, you start saying, okay, well,
$1 billion.
it's possible. I mean, people are doing it, right? They're already moving in this direction. Like, so move to $1 billion. So our goal is to keep growing Eco Plumbers, hopefully, become a platform, create opportunity for other people in the trades, partner with companies around the country, grow Eco Plumber brand, grow other brands, and share my life experience and learn from other people and build a great network and grow something amazing. Like that's what I want to do.
Love that. And you're close, and you're very, very close to your, the goal that you set, and you're going to hit that. And then you have another goal is already that you have.
Yeah, another goal's there. And I think that's, that's part of it. Right. And I think, the book Think and Grow Rich was a big for me for setting goals and thinking about it and creating my definition and purpose in life. And I wrote a whole 1-pager about who I am, what what do I want to accomplish, what do I stand for, and got to work. And it made life easier once you kind of decided, like, this is who I really am, and this is what I stand for. And it can change over time, right? Mine, I've never rewrote it. I wrote it one day. It just came to me. But I was thinking about a lot of this stuff. One day I just sat there and it just came to me. Like, I don't know how to do it. It's like almost like this infinite intelligence, whatever you want to call it, just felt like it came to me, and I just wrote it all out, all in one day, all in one few minutes. Felt like I was taking forever, and all of a sudden it just all came and wrote it, and that was the end of it, right?
It was destined. It was destined.
Yeah, maybe, right? However people believe about things, but it helped me out. So I think a couple of things. One, you go back, you say, what is my big goal? If you've ever read the book by Jim Collins, Good to Great, like there's this like big hairy Gosha's goal, right? Like, what is the big goal? Because you got to have a big vision to move it, right?
Right.
Big vision's got to be existing. My big vision, all the way back, you heard me. Do you think Mike would have came onto my team if I would have told him it was to grow it to $2 million?
Right.
That's Victoria's Secret.
Mm-hmm. Because he looked at you and he probably could tell that you were serious about that, right? You meant it.
And so that I would have missed that opportunity with him if I didn't have a big goal in life and have a great partner and CFO in business, and many other people that I've met along the way, right? Is because of that. And so that brings people along. You got to have a goal and you got to own it, and it's got to be genuine. It's got to be real too. Mine was 100 million. That's my goal. Still work to it. Still have a plan. We still talk about it, but got to have a big goal. And you got to create you got to create some definition of who you are. Who are you? Right. I believe, I don't believe in passion as much as I believe in purpose personally. And I think they're two different things.
Love that.
Right. So there's two different things. I can be passionate. Yeah. But purpose drives me. There's a purpose that I get up and do what I do. Right. Because passion can come through purpose. Right. But when you put passion first, you don't get the purpose.
It's not consistent, maybe.
Not consistent.
Depends on how you're feeling.
Yeah. Like, purpose means you're going to do it.
You're going to do it.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're going to do it.
Love that. This is amazing. Amazing stuff. Love it.
That's like the best advice I got recently from you is I was like, you know what? I get burned out and I don't know where I'm going and I get confused and there's so much going on with, whatever I'm doing, the podcast and whatever else I'm trying to do in my career. And he's like, you know what? There's just two things. It's just like you're either going towards your purpose or you're not. So everything you do, you ask yourself, is this leading me towards my purpose or is it not? And you only do the things that lead you towards your purpose. And then you're not burning your energy foolishly on things that don't get to that point anyway. And even that little thing, I mean, it hit me so hard. And I had a completely new energy source at that point, and I started to see things that way. So that's the effect of like mentors, in your circle is people that you can call, be honest with, because what's the point of lying and saying everything's great? You're not going to get much help, and they can lead you and direct you and literally say a sentence that will change the entire trajectory of your life. completely.
for sure. I've been very fortunate to have some good mentors that have done things for me. Jim Hamilton was a founder of Nexstar. Jack Tester is a mentor of mine. And, some other people have done Tony Robbins coaches and stuff, but you need people to talk to that are willing to say the real truth to you. So, and I'm glad that was something meaningful to you, because it was very meaningful to me when I made that decision to decide my goal and my purpose, and then get to work on those things. Because like I said, I think the purpose keeps you going. My purpose at that moment was, this is my life, this is my goal, and I'm gonna do it for my son. Right. And
right.
that was pieces of it. And I think it can evolve too. I don't think it's like a one-time thing. It might be for some people, but I think it just comes back to it over time. So I don't know where that went to the question you're asking, but I think it was hopefully some valuable information.
It is always like, and I think you shared like, that's like, it's very short, like, passion, purpose, like, that it might change like a lot of people's life with just like, what you just said. It's so impactful. Thanks for sharing it.
And I think if we go into goals, I do always think about them all the time too. So you just got to spend time. You really got to spend time thinking about what you are, where you're going, do, be, has, whatever it is, right? All those types of things.
Right.
Goal driven. I'm a goal driven person, but also a purposely person, right? Like I believe in purpose.
Well, yeah, everything you do is intentional. It's on purpose. Now that I'm thinking about the way you function in your life, it's a very intentional. I don't really see you as somebody guessing what your day is going to go like and going with the flow. That's almost like comical to think, because he's so diligent, consistent, and intentional.
My whole entire day written out, every minute of it.
Look at that.
Everything I'm going to do today.
All right. So since you are showing that to us, like, and we want to provide some value to the listeners. I know like people are going to watch this too. So Aaron, like, how is your daily schedule looks like? Please share it with us.
Well, I mean,
where do you even start?
I like to wake up early. So typically today I actually woke up at 1:30 in the morning. Right. Today, I don't know. I slept for 4.5 hours.
1:30.
And there you go. Yeah, but not typically, right? I like to get up around 4:30. I'm a 4:35 a.m. type of guy.
Wow.
I don't know. It's something I enjoy. The morning to me has been my place of peace, my place of thinking, my place of the world where I don't, in home service, when the world gets going in home service, there is no quiet time, right? Once the day starts.
Agree. 100%.
It is, and whatever role you're in, like a lot happens in home service, right? Trucks are moving around. I don't think people always understand the speed of this business until they're in it, right? It's fast. There's a lot of stuff going on. People all over the place. So I've been a morning person. I think when I decided to be more of that morning person, it gave me my peace. It gave me my place to think. It gave me my creativity. It gave me my time to work. And I'm not then trying to say, well, nobody's giving me time to work during the day. Well, because I'm trying to help run the business and answer questions, right? So for sure. So my mornings are still my peace. I like that mornings, in general. So I consider it I have a routine of things I like to review and look at. I call it my 20-mile march, which was similar to every day I write 20 mm in this one time. 20-mile march. These are the routines of things that I do every single morning. Okay. And I got that from Jim Collins' book, where he talks about a 20-mile march mentality. And then from there, I map out the day. I always look at my calendars the day before, the week before. I plan my week out. So every Sunday, I will sit and write out my whole entire week goals for the week, everything I want to do for the whole entire week. What do I need to talk? Who do I need to do? What do I need to do? Where do I need to be? I write them all out. I go through my whole entire calendar. Maybe I should have an EA for this, but I like to look at it. I like to make sure that is. I double check and try to see if I've got anything crossed up. And I write out my major goals for my week. I review them against anything I have for the month. And then I go into each day and I write out. I still am old school. I use a Google Calendar. Don't get me wrong. I have all this stuff and I put it all in there. I still like to write it down quickly. Say, 7 a.m. at a sales meeting today, right? I met with the sales guys, talked about sales. 8:30, I went to our daily huddle, which we run a huddle every single day in this organization. What's the goals of the day? What are we doing? Who's doing what? How are we getting there? How are we winning the day? Right. And I went from there to a staffing meeting. Then I went and looked at a new building today. Then I went and talked to TV production teams today and talked about our TV and our new TV ads. And then I met with a guy that we're bringing onto the team. Then I went and I had a call with you, Shreya, and our team for service MVP, right? Call by call. All right. Then I had a couple of phone calls. I have this podcast. I have another phone call with a plumbing guy that I've known for a while that is a company in Texas. Just going to call and talk to him at 5 o'clock tonight just to see how he's doing.
Okay.
He's been running a
Nice.
smaller plumbing business, and I want to check on his drain. I redid some HVAC sales material today. I'm looking at some smart technology items. We're redoing our flyers. I had a call on the business that we're buying. Did that today, and many other things. Like, so I write it all out. Everything's right now. I'm just
Oh
sharing
my.
quickly.
And then
I'm
you
not-
run a 5 miles.
Yeah, well, 5K to
Five.
3K, 3 miles to 5
That's a
miles depending.
yeah, 3 miles, 5K.
I was
Wow.
waiting for that at the end. I was like, are you gonna tell them that you like run 3 to 5 miles
I have
too?
to run that. That's my way of. That's
Thanks.
my meditation, right?
Thanks for sharing.
And
Thanks
I'm
for
not saying
sharing.
every day is always this regiment, but it pretty much is. I enjoy writing out my day and executing on my plan. As I said, knowledge, strategy, execute. Right.
Love
So
it.
Get
hopefully
like
that's helpful.
Aaron.
Yeah,
I'm making a wristbands hashtag get like Aaron.
I don't know about that.
One day I'll be waking up at 1:30 and
Yeah.
running 5 miles a day. Like a
I'm not running 5
psychopath,
miles
like-
every day.
Oh,
I'm
I wanna-
exaggerating a little bit.
I
I love running all those, like, medals here. Like, I think I did eight half marathons, but yeah, I
Oh,
think
wow. That's great.
after yeah, like, but I've been silent during this, like, time, like COVID time, 2-3 years, but I gotta go back. So yeah, maybe inspiration, like, from
Yeah.
you, start with like 3-5 miles and then go for it.
Yeah. Well, I got to start running some more because a couple of us are going to go run with the Bulls this summer. So I need to be ready to run.
Nice.
So
I won't be there.
wish me luck in
Maybe
July.
next-
What's going on with running with the Bulls? So
Is it a good time for the rapid fire, Mandy?
Absolutely. I'm not sure if Aaron is ready for the rapid fire because that's
He doesn't
really
even know what it is.
it.
I don't even know what's going on. So let's do whatever it is. I'm ready.
All right. You want to share, Shreya, like, what is rapid fire round? And I'm gonna show
Okay.
one thing.
So what rapid fire is we're going to ask you a series of 5 questions in rapid fire format. Just try to give like short, straight to the point answers. And if you can just get through those questions and give us as to the point as possible, as rapidly as possible, we're going to send you a gift basket
This one.
with some
Is
snackies.
that what's
for
going
you.
on? I'm like, what? There's this
It's a lot
coming up
going
out of the screen here.
A
So,
small,
okay.
a small
A nice
gift.
gift back.
Gift
All right.
from we are pretty new in the podcasting world, just like, just a small gift from our side.
Appreciate it. Very much.
Hospitality.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So let's go. Are you
All
ready?
right.
Let's go.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. Rapid fire with Mandeep today. The first question comes to you right here. Most recommended book.
Think and Grow Rich.
Love it. Favorite
Easy.
process you have implemented that has changed your business.
Sales strategy. True sales strategies. Sales model. Understanding your sales, how you go to market. Like, how do you sell? Regardless of what it is, you need to know how you sell. It's not random. You got to know how to sell.
Love it.
Got
Love it. Favorite process you have implemented in your personal life.
Running. Discipline to running and listening to audiobooks over and over.
Love
Mm.
it.
Like, that's a process to me. It's a discipline. It's easy to get out of if you don't want to. So it's
Love
a
it.
habit. Discipline.
Love it. And the fourth question right here, what characteristics do you look for in a person when hiring?
I mean, I definitely want people that you want to. I just said hiring, right? Who you're hiring?
Hiring. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you look into?
I mean, I think you could go through a lot. Like, I want to work with people that I like. We like, and they're going to get it done. Like, if there's life is work and business and life is a lot. Like, you want to be around some people you do enjoy to work with, right? And if they're going to
Charisma,
work.
competence, character.
Yeah, I think competent character, all those things. Those are like requirements. Like, if they don't have those things, like at this point in time, like, what are you doing, right? Like, those are basically just like to come play ball,
Right.
right? Like, also want to, you want to work around people that have good attitudes, all those types of things, but also want to like people you work with. Like, you want to, you want to have a relationship. You guys spend a lot of time around them. Like, you want to be excited. Like, if there's a meeting to go, like, you want to be around them. If there's a dinner to go to, you want to be around them, right? Like, if you're going to a seminar or event, like, you want to be around them and talk business and talk life. Like, you want to be around these people. I understand there's a balance between, being the boss and doing these other things. But I want to work on people I enjoy to be around.
Enjoy to be around. Great, great. Thanks for sharing.
I
You,
love
by
that.
the way, you're doing great with the rapid fire questions. The last one. What what is your favorite lesson from Think and Grow Rich?
So my favorite. All right.
Off the top of
Oh,
your head.
well, no, I'm going to say I kind of, it depends on if you've read the book or not. I think my favorite lesson is auto suggestion. Personally, I think it's one of the greatest lessons is that inside the book and inside these things is what you think about is who you become. And if
Right.
you can tell yourself an amazing story to yourself over and over every single day, you'll find a way to get there. No matter what the goal is, how to set a goal, the number, money goal, definition of purpose, all these other things in it. Like my greatest lesson from that book is that what you think about is who you become, right? And I think at the end of the day is whatever you're telling the story you're telling yourself through auto suggestion, whether it's good or bad, is who you will be. And that was the greatest lesson of that book for me.
Love it, love it. Aaron,
That was correct.
you gave me goosebumps, right?
I
Like
know.
those like whatever you are sharing with us, like so inspiring. And congratulations, definitely.
Thank you. No.
You win this rapid fire
Yay!
round with us, and
All right.
that's like gift from our
Was my
side.
rapid fire better than Tommy and Chad's and whoever else? That's all I need to know. I'm competitive.
I'm
No,
not I'm not saying anything about that.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Not really. I'll
But
listen to
yes.
theirs and find out. I'll listen
We'll
to it and find
we'll
out.
be we'll be sharing content. Maybe maybe three screens. Okay, here Chad, Tommy, Aaron.
Oh, we could
The
split screen.
we can split the screens and like let
Yeah.
let everyone like answer. Okay.
So
Thank you, Aaron, for coming on our show, and thank you to our listeners, and thank you for tuning in and listening to Born for the Trades of Home Service podcast. And make sure you stay tuned for the next episode. And Shreya, you want to add for our listeners?
Just see you guys next time, and thanks so much for all your support.
Awesome, awesome.
appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me on.